Tracy, look, I have empathy for the fact that teams in smaller markets have some built-in disadvantages to teams in other markets. Do you get to the point, though, where you feel so bad for some of the smaller market teams you want to start rigging the system more for them?
No, why? I mean, if you look at a lot of these smaller market teams now, OKC, if you look at Milwaukee, who they have over there, Cleveland had LeBron James. You have to do a better job of drafting players, developing players, and when you get this type of franchise-changing talent, you have to surround them with talent, right? You just got to put the pieces around him to keep him there. They had an opportunity. I think if they would have signed Boogie Cousins back, there's no way AD would have left Boogie hanging and considered leaving.
Probably not right now, right?
No, not right now.
Certainly see how the season would play out.
Absolutely, but what I'm saying is you have him for a couple more years to see how things were going to play out. He wasn't going to leave Boogie hanging. So, no, I don't feel sorry. I mean, if you look at big markets, two of them, New York Knicks, you see how they're faring.
Yeah.
Look at the Chicago Bulls.
Not going so well.
No, right, it's not going so well. So, I don't feel sorry for small market teams.
I don't feel sorry for teams that mismanage the situation. So I had someone on Twitter tell me it didn't matter what the Pelicans did, he was going to leave. I said, that's like saying, by making that comparison, that's like saying, hey, man, it doesn't matter what I did, I was going to fail that test. Well, did you study?
Right.
Well, now I was playing video games and I was on Instagram for a while. Well, if you didn't do the things that were under your control, you can't start blaming things out of your control for things that are happening, right? And so what Tracy brought up was an excellent point. The Knicks have been dog forever, right? The Lakers for a long time were dog, right?
Couldn't get a free agent meeting.
And when they got him, they got laughed at. Remember, we all laughed at the LaMarcus Aldridge meeting. If you run your team poorly, I don't care what your market is, you are going to have a poor team and you're going to have stars that leave. If you run it well, then you give yourself a chance to retain the talent you do have and attract new talent. If you want to talk about the Lakers, look, you can say whatever you want about Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. But what they did was they cleaned up the books. They drafted well, not necessarily lottery picks, but guys like Kuzma and Hart and Zubac and all those guys. And then they developed them. Are they all-stars? No, but those guys are better players and attractive players now than they were. Tell me who New Orleans has drafted and developed.
Right.
In 7 years.
Look, they have focused on win now, even when Anthony Davis was in his second or third year.
Big markets are not as sexy or glamorous as they used to be. I mean, we have to take a page out of San Antonio Spurs book, right? I mean, these guys drafts, a Tim Duncan, and Tim Duncan goes through his career. You bring in a Tony Parker, a Ginobili. These guys played they stayed consistent at winning because of drafting and developing players and management.
Yeah.
Their management is top notch in our game, and that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, look, Russ Westbrook has said several times, he goes, look, I played in Oklahoma City and I had 4 national commercials going at once. This is a different era. I think your Giannis example is good too, T-Mac, because people appointed him as the next AD. We're going to start watching him early. Is he going to want to stay? Milwaukee has done a really strong job at surrounding him.
He said he doesn't want to play in those big markets.
And we'll still have to see what happens there. I'm not predicting I know what the future is, but I know that Milwaukee has handled it as well as I think they could have.
They already have done more around Giannis than New Orleans did in 7 years.
Yes.
Already. There you go. That's, if you want to look at why we think Giannis has a chance to stay in, because they're winning and they're doing the right things. One more example. I know we got to move on, but remember Detroit for a long time, 7, 8 years in a row, they're going to conference finals. Detroit was a small market, but they got Antonio McDyess, who was a hot free agent. They obviously traded for Rasheed Wallace. That was a really well-run organization that shows small markets can always win.
Yeah, and look, there's no question, too. I'm sorry, the idea that people say that 7 years thing and they say, oh, that's actually not that long. I get it. That's not, well, no, I get it. That's not a lifetime. We don't need to lock players up for a lifetime.
No.
That's not how this league should work. This is the most evolved league, I think, in professional sports in this country. I like the fact that we give our players agency. We shouldn't be looking to tamp that down more.